As most of y'all know, recently Jamal Murray signed a 4-year, $208 million deal. On NBA Today on ESPN, they had Kendrick Perkins up there, some other people, they were discussing this contract. Kendrick Perkins really gave a strong take critiquing Jamal Murray in terms of what he thought he needed to do to really step up and become much better than what he already is now. If anything, I always thought Jamal Murray was an underrated player, and I'm going to show you something that speaks to that, some kind of evidence you could say. Obviously, this is all subjective. You'll see what I mean. But as you hear these clips, Kendrick Perkins is not that impressed with Jamal Murray, to say the very least. And to be honest, I don't disagree with everything Perkins said. I covered the Olympics a lot during the whole Team USA run. I was also covering Canada as well. I thought that they were going to have a medal game with the USA, a really big showdown of North America, you could say. But Jamal Murray didn't play good throughout the whole Olympics. And even the playoffs that just passed right now, I'm going to get more into his whole playoff runs as well. So yeah, I try to be as fair as possible. I'm still going to push back a bit to a certain extent. Without further ado, let's get into what Perkins had to say about Jamal Murray, and then I'll come back and react.
When the lights are the brightest, though, Jamal Murray surely looks like a max player. But it always shocks me when I'm reminded that he has yet to make an all-star team. Do you like this deal for both sides?
I do. I think Denver had no choice. But look, let me say this. The question is who is Jamal Murray, right? We know that he's an NBA champion. We saw Bubba Jamal Murray. We know that he's a great talent, but we know what he's not, though. He's not an all-NBA caliber player because he hadn't made an all-NBA team. He's not an all-star because he hadn't made an all-star. Jamal Murray is not even a top 20 perimeter player in the game. And when you get paid this amount of money, you have to live up to it. We saw when Jaylen Brown got paid $300+ million. Everyone was saying, hey, let's see what Jaylen Brown go do. The pressure is on him. He lived up to the money. You're looking at Jamal Murray. I'm looking at him and I'm saying, what can you bring to the table without Jokic being on the floor?
Great question. Let's take this back to the 2023 NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat. Steve Kerr is doing the podcast show with Draymond Green that he always has. They're discussing the matchup for Game 2, and Steve Kerr says to Draymond, I haven't talked to Spo, but I can see them in their coaching meeting saying Murray is the head of the snake, not Jokic. Say what you want about that. Old Kerr is crazy. He lost his mind. This is a champion as a player and a head coach. It just shows the value of Jamal Murray with or without Nikola Jokic. That's not to say he could do it without him as a number one option. I'm just saying he still has value within himself, period. Now, moving along, as you can see, on your screen to the left, this is a poll that The Athletic did this year. They asked just over 100 players selectively and anonymously who they thought was the most underrated player within the NBA. Now, if we're talking about total players within the NBA, which means everybody, obviously, that is approximately over 400 players. Meaning that the ones who were asked had a pretty sizable pool as to who they could have chosen. Jamal Murray ended up getting 2.4% of the votes. This is what I was talking about earlier with there's some evidence that shows there is people who think that he's underrated. It's not just me saying this. Now let's get to the assertion that Kendrick Perkins had mentioned, saying that Jamal Murray is not even a top 20 perimeter player in the NBA. Initially, when I heard this as I was recording this video, I did say to myself, nah, there's no way. Like, Jamal Murray got to be a top 20 perimeter player. And then as I went through more and more of the names, I realized there was a few I forgot, to the point where it was like, you know what? It's either very debatable or Kendrick Perkins is right. Here's the names that I came up with, and you could add on if you think I'm missing any. Number 1, Devin Booker. Number 2, Anthony Edwards. 3, Jaylen Brown. 4, Jason Tatum. 5, Steph Curry. 6, Luka Doncic. 7, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 8, Jalen Brunson. 9, Kyrie Irving. Tyrese Halliburton, number 10. 11, Damian Lillard. 12, De'Aaron Fox. LeBron James, 13. Kawhi Leonard, 14. 15, Kevin Durant. 16, Tyrese Maxey. 17, John Morant. Trae Young, 18. Donovan Mitchell at 19. This is where there was a few other names that were debatable that you could either throw in there or not. Paul George, James Harden, Jimmy Butler. Some may put them in and say, nah, they way better for sure. That's where my list kind of stopped. Y'all can hit me in the comment section and let me know if I'm forgetting anyone or if you think this is pretty much accurate.
I'm not saying he's not going to play with Jokic because obviously Jokic is reliable. But when it comes down to Jamal Murray, I think this year he has to take that leap. With Denver losing KCP, he is top 3 on my list for as guys under the most pressure to deliver, because we know Jokic has been consistently great, the best player in the league the last 3 years. We can't say the same about Jamal Murray for as his greatness and elevating his talent. We also have to keep the same energy for him that we do for Anthony Davis, that we do for Kawhi Leonard, that we do for all these guys that we question, why can't they stay healthy? Jamal Murray has to get some of that same energy. Like, I don't know, a lot of things you can't control when you out there on the floor. But again, if I'm Jamal Murray, I remember when Anthony Davis, Dave, what was it, two years ago when he said, I want to play 82 games, right. Like he set that bar for himself. That's the same thing that Jamal Murray needs to do when he approached this season.
This is where I will agree with Kendrick Perkins. When you sign a max contract, unless you're already playing like a superstar, there's definitely expectations where people are going to want to see you step up and become even much better than what you were. If you just do what you've always been doing, it's cool. But if you're not winning and you don't get that championship, it's definitely going to be pointed out. And Jamal Murray, as I was saying, he struggled throughout the Olympics. This playoff run, he struggled too. That was really his first playoff run that he struggled. Anytime he's been in the postseason, he actually stepped his game up where he looked like a flat-out superstar player. I think that's why he's getting that money that he is, because he shows when it matters the most, that's when you could really depend on him. It's just that with this contract now, in the regular season, if he scores 19 points, a few assists, he's not playing great defense, it may stand out a little bit more, and you would want him to take some pressure off of Jokic leading up to the playoffs as a whole. As far as the injury part, I don't believe he's been as bad as Kawhi or Anthony Davis. For sure not Kawhi. If you look at his playoff run, he only missed one particular season where he was dealing with an ACL tear and he kind of just missed the whole entire postseason that they had. Outside of that, he's been available for every single run they were going on when it came to trying to get a championship. My overall thoughts are, yes, Jamal Murray will have to step up, but this was the right move Denver Nuggets made. It's not like you're trying to build a championship team around Jamal Murray and he's the guy you're hoping to deliver it for you. He helped you get it as a Robin, a sidekick to a Nikola Jokic. You can't break up that core. You pay him and hope for the best. I will say, though, however, they basically got 4 years to try to get another one. And if that doesn't occur, and within those 4 years, Murray is doing basically what we're accustomed to already, then that's where you're going to have a huge issue. I don't see them giving him another max contract. And then you'll also hear rumors leading up to Murray possibly leaving the Nuggets. All of that will happen. They got a 4-year window to get it right, though. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Are you disagreeing with everything I'm saying? Do you feel what Perkins had to say is correct and you don't believe Murray is underrated at all, period? Let me know. It's all good if you disagree. Hit me up in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, salute for listening. Peace.